So today, we're going to learn how you can solve inequalities by multiplication and division. So up until this point, you had done addition and subtraction. Now we're going to look at multiplication and division. And so if you notice, it says solve each inequality, graph your answer on a number line. These instructions should look familiar. And so what are we going to do in that following inequality? Yeah, you're going to divide by 6. So I'm going to divide here by 6, and so then I have r as what? Less than negative 7. Okay, so far so good, fairly easy. So you're going to draw your number line. What type of circle on 7? Open, and which way am I going to shade?
To the right.
To the left.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
Okay, now remember, if you have the variable on the left side, the inequality, the direction it points, basically tells you which way to shade. So far so good?
Which side does the variable have to be? Left.
Left. Okay, what are you going to do here? Divide by 8, very good. So what do you get? X is what? Greater than 7. Good. Okay, greater than always points to the right. So once again, you're going to have your number line just like the problem before. Here's 0. There's 7. What type of circle on 7?
Open.
Open, shade which way?
Right.
To the right. Negative 3x is less than or equal to 21.
Divide by negative 3.
Divide by negative 3. So you get x to be what?
X is less than or equal to negative 7.
So you have 0 here. According to what we just did, which way would I do this?
To the right.
To the left.
I would shade which way?
To the left.
To the left. So let's think, what would be a value to the left of negative 7?
Negative 8.
Negative 8.
But it's not
Okay,
less.
so let's think about that. If I plug in negative 8 for x, so notice I just plugged in negative 8 because according to you, it said we were going to shade this way. So negative 8 would be a value there. If I plug negative 8 in, what's negative 3 times negative 8?
Positive 24.
Is that a true statement?
No.
No, it's not. So this is something you need to do. Whenever you divide or multiply by a negative number, okay? So right here, if you look, I divided by a negative number. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, what you must do is, can somebody guess what you're going to have to do?
Switch the negative 7.
Inequality. So really, we're going to switch it and we're going to go this way. And so let's check a value. Let's plug in negative 6. So if I plug in negative 6, I get negative 3 times negative 6, which is what?
Negative 18. Or positive
18.
18. Is 18 less than or equal to 21?
Less than.
Yeah. So whenever you get a positive or negative number that you have divided by, you must flip the inequality. Okay, so whenever you multiply or divide by a positive number or by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality. So let's look at this one.
Multiply by 3/4.
Okay, we could divide by 4/3, which is the same, but remember that's kind of a little bit hard. So if I multiply by 3/4, which is called the what? Reciprocal or the multiplicative inverse. Yeah, good. Okay, multiply by 3/4. What ends up happening is those end up canceling. So you get x is greater than. What happens here? Yep, 4 goes into 36. How many
3.
times?
Oh. No.
9, so you're left with 9 times 3, which is 27. So yeah, now here's an option. If you don't want to put 27 tick marks, this is what I'll let you do. Okay, and this is what a lot of the kids would do. I can get to 27 by 3s or 9s, correct?
Correct.
So I could go like 9, 18, and I could go like 27 this way.
Didn't you just start
Okay.
do like 26, 27, 28?
Can't do that because you always need to have 0.
Oh, that's what we've been doing.
Okay, you
That's
always
just
need
how
to
I've
have
been
0 on your number line. That's always, it's kind of like when you graph, you always have to have the origin. Okay, whenever you use a number line, you always have to have 0. All right, let's look at this one. You try this one for me. I want to see how well you do.
2.
Ooh, that's a good one, isn't it?
Sure is.
That is a great one. Let's try it.
I will.
And we'll see. Yes, sir.
So then you switch that to negative 8 over to x. That is just inequality, so.
Now remember, another way to write a fraction bar is as what? Divide. So really, this is like y divided by -4. I mean, that's the same thing. Now some of you are probably saying, well, the negative goes with the y. Remember, it can either go with the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. Can't go with both, has to go with one or the other. And so in order to undo division, I'm gonna multiply. So here you go, so I get y to be greater than or equal to what, folks?
Negative
-8, but
You switch the sign.
I need to flip the sign because what did you do? You multiplied by a -4. Okay, so y is less than or equal to -8. Once again, we would have had our number line, went from there. Okay, now real quick, before we get on to this one, I want to look real quick. I want you to think about this. If I had x divided by 3 is less than -2. I want you to do this one for me real quick. X divided by 3 is less than -2. X divided by 3 is less than -2.
Yes.
How many had the first answer that I had there? How many had the second answer? Now remember what I said, what are you gonna have to multiply here by to solve?
3.
3. Is 3 a negative number?
Oh,
No.
dang it.
No. Since 3 is not negative, you leave it alone. Remember, it's only when you multiply or divide by a negative number. I've multiplied here by a positive number. I know 2 is negative, I understand that. But that's not the one we're concerned with. We're concerned with this one right here. So, it doesn't matter that the 2 is negative, you have to look at the 3. Okay, so now, very last one, the band boosters raised more than $5,500 from sales of the $15 band DVD. Define a variable and write an inequality to represent the number of DVDs they sold. Solve the inequality and interpret your solution. So, define a variable. Want D?
And
N? What do we want N to represent?
DVD sold.
Number of DVDs sold.
Yes. Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
So there you go, there's the first one. Now we need to write an inequality.
N
N
times
times
15.
15.
N times 15, so let's write that as 15N, because that would be how much money they made,
Is greater than.
is greater than
5,500.
5,500. So let's review that again. $15 is how much the DVDs cost. N is how much they sold. So you're basically taking 15 times N, that's how much money you make. You know that that is more than 5,500. So there's your inequality. Now we need to solve this. So what do we need to do to both
What do you
sides?
divide by
Divide by
15?
Divide by 15. So when we do that, we get N to be greater than what answer?
3.
3,000.
3.
Yes.
100.
3,500.
30.
What does this come out to be? What is 5,500 divided by 15? Somebody do it for me. Does it come out even? I think it's 3, 6.
Yeah.
366.7.
Okay, so now let's think about what that means, because this is really important in this problem. It says, solve the inequality and interpret your solution. N is greater than 366.7. But what does N represent?
No. Number.
DVDs. So can you have 0.7 of a DVD?
No, so
No.
367.
So really, they must have sold more than 367 DVDs. Oh, I was trying to write a V there. Obviously, it didn't come out. There.
It turned out great.
367 DVDs. So that's an important thing to understand about the rounding in this problem. Okay, you have the rest of the time to work. Your assignment is going to be found on page 295. I need you to do 12 through 34. We're going to take care of this on Monday, so make sure you get your assignment done.